Good morning, everyone, and welcome to CurePSP's Spring Virtual Family Conference. Hopefully everyone hears me well and you don't hear too much of the background noise here. We are at the headquarters of CurePSP in New York City. My name is Kristophe Diaz, Vice President of Scientific Affairs at CurePSP. It is my pleasure and honor to launch these 2 days of sharing and discussions. We're thrilled to be virtually spending these 2 days with 200 other attendees. However, I'm looking forward to meeting you all in person at a future family conference. Before I give the stage to Joanna Teters, our amazing community outreach and resource manager, I need to share some housekeeping notes with you all to make sure the conference goes smoothly. The link you're watching the event on is good for the entire conference. Please do not share it without anyone who has not registered. If you scroll down on this page, you will find many useful links at the bottom of the screen, which links a lot of resources for you to peruse. If you happen to open a new page and navigate away from the main event, don't worry. You can always hit the back button on your browser or just send the link or just go back to the link in your email and you'll come right back to us. You can ask questions by using the chat function on the right of your screen. If you don't see the chat function, note that there are 4 small slash lines on the lower right-hand corner of your screen. You can click on that to bring it up, to bring the chat back up. Alternatively, you can just email questions at info@curepsp.org. Note that the slides of today and tomorrow's presentation will be available in the link to our Dropbox under the resource section. Not all the slides or handouts are there at this point, but they will be updated as soon as possible. Today's presentation will be also made available on our YouTube page in the next few weeks once they are edited. We will email all the attendees to let you know when the slides are ready. Before we get started, I want to also share a couple save the dates announcements. Please join us for Synapse 21, the CurePSP Brain Bank Benefit event that will happen on June 16th. This virtual fundraising event supports the CurePSP Brain Donation Program, operated in collaboration with the Mayo Clinic Brain Bank in Jacksonville, Florida. The Mayo Clinic's Brain Bank serves as an invaluable resource to a researcher by providing tissue samples that are essential for their work. There's a link down below under fundraising event if you want to read more information. Another save the date that we're excited about is on July 14th. We'll be producing Hope as Big as Texas, Spotlight on Art for Respite Care. It's a virtual fundraising event to raise awareness and support for families with in-home respite care provided through grants to families impacted by PSP, CBD, and MSA. Finally, this family conference is only made possible through the generosity of you like yourselves. A special thanks to our donors that chose the paid forward option by providing us with funds to cover the registration fees for 15 people. Thank you for that. So now it is my pleasure to welcome Joanna Teters on stage. Joanna, thank you for all the great work you do for CurePSP. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Kristophe, for that lovely introduction. And good morning, everyone. My name is Joanna Teters, and I am the Community Outreach and Resource Manager here at CurePSP. It is my pleasure to be with you all here today at our 2021 Spring Virtual Family Conference, and honored to be kicking off the conference with this presentation. Many of you may recognize me from previous events or from moderating our Ask the Doctor educational series, where we feature doctors like Dr. Golby, Dr. Panteliat, and many, many more leading minds in our field. Or maybe you and I are even on a first name basis from speaking on the phone or emailing or attending support groups together. Although I had no prior family or personal experience with prime of life neurodegeneration, over the past 5 years that I've been with CurePSP, I have become extremely passionate about the mission of this organization. With every passing year, I've moved closer and closer in my duties to working directly with families, patients, CurePSP volunteers, and committee members to develop educational content and programs, make sure that it's getting in your hands, as well as support groups, advocacy resources in the medical and therapeutical fields, and home care grant programs for those in need. Through my work in the Patient and Care Partner Advocacy Department and on the Patient and Care Partner Advocacy Committee, I have come to understand the intricacies and value of all the different educational and programmatic resources that we've developed and continue to develop as the landscape of caregiving and treatment changes through the years. And in my 5 years that I've been with CurePSP, it sure has changed for the better. Today, I want to take a moment to give you a virtual tour of some of our educational materials and draw your attention to a few of the resources that we've developed over the past few years to help patients and families through this journey of prime of life neurodegeneration. The bottom line for me is the diseases are very rare and very complicated still. Educating yourself, educating your family, and even educating medical professionals that you come across, some of whom might need a little extra help understanding what exactly is going on, I'm sure many of you have had this experience before, is an incredible source of power and purpose. It allows you to advocate for yourself, for your loved ones, and helps to raise awareness around these diseases. So without further ado, I'm going to switch over my presentation and talk for a bit about some of our programs and materials. So today we're going to go through our printed educational materials that are all available digitally and in printed form that can be shipped directly to your house. So we'll talk about the Some Answers brochures and the guidebooks, the brochure suite by Diane Breslow, our brand new grab and go document, and our wallet cards, which many of you are fans of. Also shed some light on our Spanish materials and a couple of other things that we have. And then I'm going to talk about some of the patient and caregiver support programs that we offer at CurePSP, including the Shri Levy and Quality of Life Fund, some of our support groups, both regional and national, our Smart Patients Forum, and our brand new Assistive Devices and Adaptive Equipment webpage on our website. So on our website is available at psp.org or CurePSP.org. You can head over to the I Want to Learn tab. At the top of the screen, you'll see I want to learn, I need support, and I want to help. Our educational catalog is located on the I Want to Learn tab. That's the blue tab. For those of you that are familiar with our website, or maybe you'll be heading there after my presentation. And by clicking on our resource catalog, you can view all of our materials. And this is a key part of CurePSP's mission of care, consciousness, and cure. We provide relevant, up-to-date information. We are constantly revising. We have an incredible team of peer reviewers and content creators, namely Dr. Lawrence I. Golby, who is a very integral member of the CurePSP team. He is the creator of the Some Answers brochures that we'll be talking about in a moment, and also very hands-on with all of our educational materials about PSP, MSA, and CBD. And if you head over to the I Want to Learn tab on the website, you can also see Dr. Golby sharing some video FAQs for some questions that we've been asked frequently. I also want to mention that all of these items are always free of cost. CurePSP is a nonprofit organization. We do rely on donations of our constituents and our supporters, but all of these items that I'll be talking about here today are entirely free of cost. We are more than happy to send a package to you of what you would, of anything that you need copies of at your home, and you can always feel free to request more than one copy. We'll talk a little bit about that today. So let's head over to the next slide here. Our Some Answers brochures are quite possibly the best way to be understanding PSP, CBD, MSA, and CTE. Oops. These are, 6 to 10 page explanations of current treatment, symptomology, information about everything that we know about these diseases is outlined in the Some Answers brochures. These have all been written by Dr. Golby. So please contact us to get some copies. These are great to keep on hand for anybody that does not know what PSP or MSA or CBD or CTE is. You can keep them on hand. You can give them to your doctors, to your therapists, to your family members, to your children, anybody that needs a little more understanding about what exactly is going on with these diseases. This is the best piece for you. We also have the beige folder that has an image on this slide here. This is our document called What Every Social Worker, Physical Therapist, Occupational Therapist, Speech Language Pathologist needs to know about these diseases. So this is kind of a little holy grail for therapists and medical professionals who might not have had experience working with other patients with these diseases. So I would really encourage you, if you do not already have your hands on some printed copies, as I mentioned, they are available digitally as well. You can always feel free to keep them digitally, to disseminate them digitally, but you can also keep copies on hand and we can send them to you. So I'm going to head over to our next slide. I want to talk for a moment about our guidebook and our Care Partner Guide. We have a brand new version. It came out last year, 2020. Our most recent before that was a 2017 guidebook. But the guidebook is our most in-depth resource. Everybody that is on this journey of prime of life neurodegeneration, I encourage you to get your hands on a copy. I have mine right here. I always keep my guidebook always at arm's length away from me. I'm always referring to this. If I'm on the phone with somebody who has questions, I'm always looking in it. So I really do encourage you to get a copy. On the website, they are available for a suggested $20 donation. But again, all of these documents are available for you free of cost. If you are unable to make that suggested donation, it is not a problem. You just need to contact us at info@curepsp.org or pick up the phone and call us, and we'd be more than happy to send you out as many copies as you need. The point of this whole organization and the department that I'm in is to get educational information in the hands of those who need it. So let's head back to the slides. Again, this is the Care Partner Guidebook on the blue icon here. This is an excerpt. It is actually included in the red guidebook, but we have excerpted it from that original guidebook and made it as a separate printable piece. This is just a really wonderful thing. This guidebook for care partners talks about the emotional aspect of caregiving, some of the things to look out for, some practical tips, some help. It's a really wonderful piece that was contributed by, pieces were contributed by different therapists, different members of our patient and care partner advocacy committee, social workers, all of you caregivers out there that are watching. Thank you for joining us, and please do contact us to get a copy of the Care Partner Guidebook. I'm going to keep it moving here. I want to talk this morning about our trifolds and brochure suite. I have had the privilege over the last few years of working with Diane Breslow, who is a top-notch social worker. She is part of our patient and care partner advocacy committee. Some of you may be familiar with Diane as a recent facilitator of some of our support groups, but you also are probably familiar with her writing. Diane is a contributor to our guidebook, to all of these trifolds that you're seeing in front of us. We've been working with Diane to create an ever-expanding suite of brochures that talk about all different topics that might come up for you or your family through this disease journey. Starting from the red brochure, we have a brand new brochure that is about talking about your diagnosis. So if you yourself have recently been diagnosed and need some extra encouragement or advice on how to share this news or communicate about it with your spouse or your loved ones or your colleagues, coworkers, this is a brochure for you. This is a very difficult thing to grapple with, especially those who are very newly diagnosed. And this is an excellent brochure for those who want some help talking about their diagnosis. And then conversely, we also have a new brochure about supporting someone who is recently diagnosed. If you are a child of a newly diagnosed patient, or you are a coworker, anybody that has a relationship with somebody that has been newly diagnosed and need a little extra encouragement, as I mentioned, or advice in breaching this topic, this is a brochure for you. These are difficult things and you do not need to go about it alone. And a social worker like Diane, who has such an intimate knowledge of prime of life neurodegeneration, she really has shared her heart and soul and her wisdom with us and with this community by creating these brochures. Moving along, we have a brand new brochure called Understanding the Use of Psychotropic Medications. For those of you who feel that you need a little extra help discussing your medications with your doctor, if you feel like the medications that you've been given by your doctor is not totally working for you, or you feel like you need a little extra help in just opening up that discussion, this is the brochure for you. It talks specifically about some different medications that have proven to work well for people with PSP, CBD, and MSA. This has also been peer-reviewed by Dr. Golby, so grab a copy of that today. That's Understanding the Use of Psychotropic Medications. And then moving along in the disease stages, we also have brochures, trifolds about levels of care for you to understand the levels of in-home and community-based services and residential options. We have advanced healthcare planning, talking about DNRs and things like that. And then we also have palliative and hospice care and facing the loss and end of your caregiver role if and when that time comes. So I would really recommend you getting your hands on any of these brochures that sound like they might be of interest to you or your family. Moving along here, our grab and go educational document is, emergency document. Grab and go emergency document is a brand new document that came through our patient and care partner committee, patient and care partner advocacy committee. Through conversations in our support group and in our committee, especially through the pandemic, we realized that there were a lot of people that were having experiences where they were going with their loved ones in an emergency situation to a hospital or an emergency room, and that caregiver was unable to go in due to the pandemic or extenuating circumstances, going into that emergency room or into that hospital room with their loved one. Out of that situation, we did create the grab and go emergency document. This is a place for you and your loved one to put down all of your information, your emergency contact information, your insurance information, information about the disease. It also has a disclaimer about what prime of life neurodegeneration can present as if a doctor that's seeing you is unfamiliar with PSP, CBD, or MSA. This is a great thing to keep around the house. If an emergency team comes in or anybody comes in and they need your information stat, and maybe you are not around, or maybe the patient is unable to speak up for themselves at that current moment, this is an excellent document to keep around and to advocate for yourself, to make sure that all of the emergency information that you need to be communicated to those who are caring for you is available. So you can download it digitally off of our website. This is the grab and go emergency document. And then we also have medical alert cards. Many of you are already aware of these medical alert cards, but they are wallet-sized cards that fit in your wallet. They include the name of the disease you've been diagnosed with, as well as the symptoms, and a statement that says call physician or family for help in case of emergency. Everybody should have a copy of the grab and go around their house, or at least a few copies of the grab and go filled out, and then also a medical alert card to keep in your wallet in case of emergency. Just some precautionary measures to take to make sure that you are receiving the best care and communicating the information that you need to communicate to those who need to hear it. We do have, for those who speak Spanish as their first language, we have some of our materials that have been translated. We have all of our Some Answers brochures, as well as our What Every Social Worker, Occupational Therapist, and Speech Language Pathologist Needs to Know About These Diseases. These 4 documents have been translated into Spanish, and we are looking forward to translating. The French translations are already underway, and we are going to be working hard to make sure that more translations become available for all of our documents. We do recognize that these diseases do not discriminate, no matter where on this beautiful green earth you are from. So we are working hard to make sure that this valuable information is easily accessed by those, no matter what language you speak. I also want to point out that we do have a couple of DVDs that are very educational. We also have a brain tissue donation program for those families that are interested in donating brain tissue. We do partner with the Mayo Clinic Brain Bank in Jacksonville, Florida. This brain tissue donation program is available on our website and in print, just like every other one of our educational materials that I'm referring to here today. And then for those of you who want to keep something very brief and handy in your back pocket, our general information and brief descriptions of PSP, CBD, and MSA brochures are excellent to keep around. So do head over to the psp.org/resources website. There you can view our entire catalog of our educational resources. You can place an order through myself or my colleague, Kelsey Woods. I will put up our contact information at the end of this presentation. And please remember, we want you to get multiple copies of these documents. If you want to keep them around, if you want to give them out to your children, to your neighbors, to your home care workers, to your doctors, to your dentist, to your eye doctor, we can do that for you. So please contact us. If you would like us to send them out directly to those people, we can also do that. And then, of course, as I mentioned, they are also digitally available for download and print. Moving along, I just want to, let's see, click. There we go. Again, we want to get our educational materials into your hands. So do head over to the resources or contact us at info@curepsp.org. And for those of you who are just joining us, all educational materials are available to you at no cost, whether you choose to receive them digitally or in print. For my last few minutes of my presentation, I want to talk about a couple of our programmatic resources, not just our printed resources. Our Cherie Levian Quality of Life Fund is our one grant program that provides in-home care grants to families with PSP, CBD, MSA. These are grants of $1,500. We do accept applications from patients and caregivers dealing with PSP, CBD, MSA currently only in the US. It is not available internationally. Thank you to our international friends who are tuning in today. I'm very sorry that this grant program does not apply to you at this time, but hopefully in the near future. We do have 4 grant rounds: January, April, July, and October, but the application acceptance is always rolling, so you can feel free to submit your application at any time during the year. It will just be reviewed at those grant periods, so January 30th, April 30th, July 30th, October 30th. And this is a grant fund that was initially started by the Levian family in memory of Cherie Levian, who passed from PSP. And this is to help bring in-home care workers to alleviate the stress of in-home care. We at CurePSP do believe in, for those who are able to afford it or able to deal with it, to keep patients at home as long as possible due to the complexity of these diseases. So we do have this quality of life fund available. If you think that you might be a good fit for this fund, please do contact us with any questions. You can find out more information on our website by going to I Need Support and clicking on Respite Services. And once again, these are current grants of $1,500 for in-home care services rendered by organizations like Comfort Keepers, Visiting Angels, Griswold Home Care, so on and so forth. So if you have any questions about this fund, please do contact us. And our next slide here is about our support groups. We have regional and national support groups. Our national support groups we've really ramped them up this year, especially due to the pandemic when everything went virtual. We now offer 15 different national online support groups. Anybody, international or national, can join us. These are categorized by disease. So we have, by disease and relationship to the disease. So we have PSP, MSA, and CBD support groups for both patients and caregivers. We also are offering a Gen Z support group, as well as a PSP and CBD 101 group. We will be starting an MSA 101 group as well for those who are in the earlier stages of disease progression. I do encourage that you go over to our website and check out all of the support group offerings that we have. It is an incredible way to connect and receive support from those who are walking in the same shoes as you. It's also a great way to create peer support. I can think of so many different instances where people have developed relationships with those they've met in support groups. So do head over to our curepsp.org/I-need-support/regional support to view whether or not there is a regional support group that is meeting virtually in your area, whether you live in Ohio or Vermont or Texas or California. There is a virtual support group that is meeting specific to your state. So now we are going to head over to our next slide. Our Smart Patients Forum is an excellent discussion forum that is available and accessible 24/7. It is open to those who are suffering with PSP or CBD. You can access conversation threads specific to the disease that allows you to ask questions, reply to comments, tag keywords, search for topics like wheelchair or swallowing, and it is just a really excellent resource. It's almost, sometimes I think of it as a Wikipedia of sorts, especially if you're using the keyword search. You can really get right in there with people who have wanted to share their own experience, their favorite resources, or their favorite equipment. This is a great place to communicate with people. It's a chat room of sorts. So head over to Smart Patients Forum if you are not already logged in. It is free to attend and, as I said, accessible 24/7. Lastly, I just want to talk about our brand new assistive devices and adaptive equipment list on our website. My colleague Kelsey Woods, who many of you also probably know at this point, has worked hard scouring the Smart Patients Forum in every support group or every committee discussion. We have been keeping a rolling list of every single adaptive equipment or assistive device that has come up in conversation, and we have categorized them by section. So we have sections on eyes, vision, eating and drinking, mouth, throat, and nose, dental hygiene, general hygiene and bathroom, urinary devices, wheelchairs and walkers, lifts, speech and communication devices, medical alert devices, adaptive clothing, and miscellaneous safety products and features. So this is a brand new resource on our website. Head over to curepsp.org/I-need-support to view our assistive devices. There's also information on lending closets, as well as some information about Smart Patients right on there. And if you have any suggestions for this list, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you all so much for joining me here today at my presentation once again. My name is Joanna Teters. I am the Community Outreach and Resource Manager at CurePSP. Myself and my colleague Kelsey Woods are always here to help you. We are the friendly voices at the end of the phone line, so please do pick up the telephone if you ever need help with anything. You can also reach us at info@curepsp.org. And thank you so much for being here. I'm going to pass it over to Kate Roberts with VCU. She is a wonderful occupational therapist, and stay tuned for many more wonderful presentations from some of the best medical professionals, therapists, and doctors in the neurodegeneration field. And make sure to check out the resources section on the Mobile Cause event page by scrolling all the way down to the bottom of the page. There you can access all of the presentations from today, as well as the links to some of the most pertinent web pages that I did mention during my presentation. You can also find links for requesting an informational packet at the beginning of my presentation, or ordering your own copy of the CurePSP guidebook or Care Partner guidebook. So thanks again. I so appreciate you all being here with us today, and we'll talk again soon. Take care and stay tuned for Kate Roberts, occupational therapist from VCU.